Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still running into critical resistance, but the liquidation heat map is potentially revealing the next price target. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is still forming this short-term pattern, while Solana is getting extremely close to breaking from this pattern. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in this video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF news today, and on Wednesday, we actually saw some good news. And the good news wasn't necessarily massive inflows into the other ETFs like BlackRock or Fidelity. We actually saw relatively low inflows into those ETFs. But what we saw on Wednesday was the smallest ever outflow, at least so far, from Grayscale, from GBTC. Because usually the average day for Grayscale is an outflow of around $250 million worth of Bitcoin. That's their average day. Whereas on Wednesday, we only saw an outflow from Grayscale of only $17.5 million, which once again is their smallest ever outflow. And so obviously, if we continue to see very small outflows from Grayscale, this is good news, because if we're still seeing inflows into the other ETFs, then it will be much easier to see net inflows if we're seeing barely any outflows from Grayscale. And so due to the very low outflow from Grayscale and inflows into the other ETFs, we were left with a net inflow at the end of Wednesday of around $123.7 million US. And in case you're new to all of this, all you really need to know is net inflows is bullish, net outflows is bearish, and obviously the bigger the net inflow, the more bullish that is, and the bigger the net outflow, the more bearish that is. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin halving countdown, there's only 8 days to go until the Bitcoin halving, which, in case you're new to all of this, the Bitcoin halving is a once every 4-year event. And historically speaking, because so far in Bitcoin's history, there's been 3 previous halvings up until now, this will be the 4th halving. And historically speaking, every single halving that we've seen so far in Bitcoin's history has led to a major bull market over the following 1 year, approximately, following the Bitcoin halving. And once again, this only comes around once every 4 years. So if you're new to the channel, definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of the major opportunities that are coming very soon, which once again only happens once every 4 years. They do not happen very often. And as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving, I'll be talking more and more about the halving and what it actually means fundamentally speaking for Bitcoin, and what we can expect moving forward after the halving. But with that being said, getting into the Bitcoin charts today, looking at the weekly time frame, right now, not much has changed here on this time frame over the last 1 day. And so as I've been saying for a while now here on the channel, just recently, we're still potentially repeating history on the weekly time frame, still in a larger bullish market. It's just in the short term, we're still somewhat struggling around that all-time high breakout level, which is very similar to what we've seen in past bull cycles. And so like I've been saying recently, do not be fooled by short-term bearish price action. Of course, we can see some short-term bearish price action here and there. That's very normal to see. But ultimately, when we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, we can still see the price of Bitcoin is currently within a larger bullish trend, also known as a bull market. And we can simply see what happened last time in the last bull market. Once we confirmed a breakout into fresh new all-time highs, obviously the price of Bitcoin absolutely exploded to the upside, almost vertical to the upside over the next few weeks and months, once we officially confirmed a strong breakout into fresh new all-time highs. So just keep that in mind. That could potentially be coming over the next few weeks or months once we actually confirm a strong breakout above that all-time high level at around 69 to 70,000, with a strong weekly candle close well above that level. But at least for now, just in the shorter term here, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame, this is still spiking to the upside, which is putting some downwards pressure on the price of Bitcoin. Because as we can clearly see on this daily Bitcoin chart, when the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, this red line right here, when it's moving to the upside, that basically means the price of Bitcoin is going to also struggle going to the upside. Usually we see either bearish, if not neutral price action during the times where the DXY is bullish. But when we eventually see another pullback in the DXY, like what we saw right here and right here, those are the times where we see the most bullish price action for Bitcoin. And so as always, I'll be keeping a close eye on the DXY, and if anything changes, I'll make sure to keep you up to date here in these videos. So as always, make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on these important update videos. And as of right now, here on the daily time frame, while the price is somewhat consolidating sideways, we're still potentially forming this ascending triangle pattern with somewhat horizontal resistance, this area of resistance sitting in between around 71,500 to 73,500. And this ascending line of support is still currently sitting at around 66,500 approximately. And so as of right now on the daily time frame, we're actually looking relatively neutral while the price is still within this sideways price range, still forming this pattern. And then ultimately, once we either confirm a strong breakout above this resistance or below this support, that would potentially be the next signal telling us the next short-term price target for the price of Bitcoin. And as I've said recently on the channel, if we confirm a strong breakout above that all-time high level, above around 73,500 to 74,000, then that could potentially set up a price target based on this pattern right here, sitting at around $89,000. And once again, if we're looking at Bitcoin's history, we can see that type of move is definitely not that far-fetched. In fact, that's exactly what we saw the last time we saw a major breakout into new all-time highs in the last bull market. In fact, in that last bull market right here, within around 1 month or so, the price of Bitcoin basically doubled. So once again, if we see a strong breakout into new all-time highs, breaking out above around 74,000 ideally with confirmation, so candle closes above that level, or even better, if we see a retest and hold that level as new support, then that would just further confirm the breakout to the upside, once again setting up that price target at around 89,000. But it is important to understand that at least as of right now, because we have not yet confirmed the breakout, as of right now, this price target to the upside is not yet in play. And once again, we have not yet confirmed the breakout. So we're still looking relatively neutral, at least in the short term here. And in case you're wondering about my personal trading strategy, as I said in my last 2 videos here on the channel, I'm already starting to build up a small long position at the moment, even while we're inside this pattern. As always, that is not financial advice. I'm just letting you know my trading strategy at the moment. And because that is only a small trade at the moment with low leverage, I can actually afford the price of Bitcoin going further to the downside. In fact, that would be even better for my long position because that means I can add to that trade, making it a bigger trade and lowering my entry price as the price goes lower. And so essentially, if the price dumps, I get a better entry for Bitcoin, and if the price pumps, I already profit from my existing trade. And in case you're wondering where I'm taking that trade right now, I'm currently trading over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can not only get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but you can also potentially claim this exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position. And once again, all you need to do to actually claim this free airdrop position is simply just make a Bybit account using the link down below this video. Only that link works for this airdrop, and then simply make a deposit and start trading on the account to claim this airdrop. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. So I'll also leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative exchange. And if we're taking a look at the short-term Bitcoin price action here on the 4-hour time frame, we're still bouncing around between this area of support and this level of resistance as of right now. First of all, this area of support is still sitting in between around 68,000 to 69,000, and this level of resistance, which was previous resistance, is still sitting at around 71,500, and we also have this area of resistance in between around 73,000 to 74,000. And so at least for now, in the imminent short term, as I said earlier as well, we're actually looking relatively neutral at the moment. We don't really have a strong direction to either direction. So once again, in order to confirm the next major direction and momentum in the price of Bitcoin, we just need to wait for a break of one of these levels here on the daily time frame. And if you're new to all of this, you might be wondering there's basically no way to make money if the price is just chopping around sideways, because if you're buying Bitcoin here and selling it here, you're basically making or losing nothing. But believe it or not, choppy sideways price action just like this is a gold mine in crypto. You can make a lot of easy profits from choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, giving you a quick update here on the 1 hour Bitcoin chart, and over the last 1 to 2 days, we saw this short-term bullish divergence play out as expected, which I talked about in my last video. But as of right now, because it's already played out over around 1 to 2 days or so, I no longer really expect this to continue to play out, considering it's only on the 1 hour time frame. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see a massive amount of liquidity to the upside, even after we just took out some liquidity to the upside. First of all, the liquidity that we already took out was sitting in between around 72,000 to 72.2k, but the remaining liquidity that is still left to be hit is starting at around 72.9k and goes up towards around 73.3k, and we also have more liquidity at around 74,000. And so basically there's a lot of liquidity sitting in between around 73 to 74,000, which basically means it's extremely likely that sometime soon the price of Bitcoin is likely going to return up towards around 73 to 74,000, which is that area of resistance. Because usually the price of Bitcoin moves towards where there's most liquidity. And so obviously, because there's billions of dollars of liquidation levels sitting right around 73 to 74,000, it is quite likely that sometime soon, potentially over the next 1 week or so, we could return up towards those prices. But anyway, taking a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, right now we're still trading around that golden pocket, sitting in between around 3.4k to 3.5k. So over the last 1 day, honestly, not much has changed here on the weekly time frame. So getting straight into the shorter term, looking at the 4 hour time frame, we're still trading right around this area of support, which is currently holding the price of ETH in the short term. We're currently finding support at that area of support as expected. And in case you're new to the channel, this area of support is sitting in between around 3460 to around 3530 approximately. And now, if we end up seeing a confirmed break with candle closes below that area of support, or even better, if we see a rejection confirming it as new resistance, then in that case, we would likely see a move down towards this level, sitting at around 3370. And below that, we have this area of support sitting in between around 3.2k to 3250. And as for short-term resistance, in case we see more of a bounce here, we could find some resistance at around 3640 to 3650 and more resistance at around 3740 to 3.8k. But like I said for Bitcoin earlier in the video, at the moment, the price of ETH is kind of lacking momentum in the short term to either direction. We're actually just looking relatively neutral, bouncing around sideways. But as of right now, while this is currently happening, we're still seeing this potential inverse head and shoulders pattern form here on the 6 hour ETH to US dollar chart. Because as of right now, we've already formed the left shoulder, the head, and we're potentially around halfway through forming the right shoulder, but only if we see a confirmed bounce back to the upside and a breakout above this neckline will this pattern actually be confirmed. And so basically at some point over the next couple of days or so, we really need to see a bounce to the upside in order to confirm this pattern and break out above around 3710. And if we see that confirm, if we see a bounce and then a breakout above this level, then that would set up a technical price target to the upside for this pattern sitting at around 4.2k. But it is important to understand that as of right now, this bullish price target is not yet in play, and this pattern right here is not yet active at all because we have not yet even completed the pattern or seen a breakout, at least not yet. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 8 hour time frame, right now we're still forming this falling wedge pattern, which is about to break at any moment now. Any day now, this could break. And statistically speaking, a falling wedge pattern breaks out to the upside more often than not. Roughly around 2/3 of the time, a falling wedge breaks out to the upside, and around 1/3 of the time, it breaks to the downside. And so once again, it's not impossible to see a break to the downside. That can happen. It's just that is the less likely scenario, statistically speaking. But as of right now, for support and resistance, we still have this area of support sitting in between around 167 to 172 approximately. And we have this descending line of support for the falling wedge pattern, also sitting at around 166 to 167. And right now, this descending line of resistance is currently sitting at around 175. And so if we see a confirmed breakout above that level with candle closes above that level, or even better, if we saw a retest further confirming the breakout to the upside, then that would set up a bullish price target for this falling wedge pattern, which would be sitting at around the top of the wedge, sitting at around $203. And so just for example, if we see that bullish breakout confirm here from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about a possible 16% move to the upside. But once again, as I've been saying throughout this video, we have not yet confirmed the signal. We have not yet confirmed the break either above resistance or below support. So at least for now, we're still looking relatively neutral while we're still forming the pattern. So right now, none of those price targets are not yet in play because we have not yet confirmed any new breakout signal. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links down below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.